This conference will now be recorded.
Welcome, welcome, welcome everyone to the Winter Solstice Energy Immersion. So glad you're here. This is a session of transformational energy where I've already created a group field. And if you're listening to this on the replay, this session, this place of interface between worlds is alive with energy, alive with vibration, serving your highest and best needs. And so the first thing we're going to do is welcome in the divine beings we're working with. We're working primarily with source intelligence, divine mother holding space. We have Mother Mira who works with us to hold space in the collective, to work on collective healings, how human consciousness collectively is holding a lot of conditioning, and how collective human consciousness is affecting you. Of course, we're affected by what's around us. But tonight is winter solstice, so we want to specifically welcome the element of fire. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And also the divine solstice angels, the celestials coming in to work with us as like a team, a choir of angels. And what's happening is you're going to be receiving each a divine solstice angel to come into your field, and they're going to come in on the count of 3. They're going to come in through your crown and settle in your heart. You may feel a nice warm whoosh, or you just may feel a presence, or don't worry if you don't feel anything at all. And so they're coming into your field on the count of 3. 3, 2, 1. And you can just feel their warmth and sense their warmth, comfort, nurturing their potency, holding space for this healing. They just kind of feel like home to me. And we always start these sessions with a chant, a mantra. And I'll be using a mantra that my friend Rich created as a channeling, as a calling. And it has a specific meaning about divinity and how each aspect, sacred mantras, Hindu mantras, each syllable has a specific meaning for divinity, for oneness, for how wisdom works with us, how we're individual expressions and how we're all a part of the one whole. And if you know it, you're welcome to tune in. It's not very common, but the people who attend regularly are familiar with this. And so taking a deep breath in, allowing the vibration of the sacred mantra to move in, around, and through you. Aum Hurag Ayumi 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 Ayumi. Beautiful, beautiful. Before we set our intentions, I'm going to take a couple of minutes. And what we're going to do is we're going to ground in the flow of energy, the flow of energy of your divinity coming in as an awakening element, as an awakening realization, a remembering. But also you are existing in this human body, this Gaian form, which invites you to be grounded and centered. And we all know how hard it is to stay. So this grounding flow is a recalibration. And it's very helpful to be centered and recalibrated in the element of flow during these times of uncertainty and change, because then you become a lighthouse of grounded flow for you, your family, your friends, for everyone around you. And this ripple effect affects the entire world because we are that connected. So taking a moment to breathe down into your grounding cord, which is at the root of your spine. And so I'm going to take a moment for those of you who are new and create a new higher dimensional grounding cord. There we go. Your grounding cord was calibrated to the moment you came onto the planet. And then we're just updating it, like updating your software to the highest frequencies available. And those of you who already have it, you're just getting a little tweak, a little update. There you go. You may feel like it's easier now to connect, and it is. It's like opening up your channel a little bit more effectively. Again, like getting an update on your software and hardware. So breathing down through your grounding cord at the root of your spine, down through the chair, the floor, the bed you're sitting on, down through the sub-basement, into the soil, into the layers of the earth, down through the molten lava at its core, and we're going to connect to the heart of Gaia. She's a living, beautiful human or a dimensional being. And as we connect, imagine that you're plugging in like to an electrical socket, or better yet, as an umbilical cord plugs into Mother. And as we plug in, we're receiving this nutritional energy, again, that is from an awakening dimensional being that is a part of us. And she is feeding us this energetic grid, but we're also feeding her our awakening. And in a symbiotic manner, we're learning how to re-relate to each other. Again, it's a re-remembering of both our earthen roots and our divinity. And so we're going to recalibrate starting with our chakras. And as I do this, I'm inviting you to breathe down into earth, just regular breaths. And as earth, breathe back up into you in just a regular rhythm as I do this recalibration. So as earth, we're going to breathe in this energetic grid. And stopping at the subroot first chakra, we're going to clear out whatever no longer serves you. There we go. And usually it's debris that you've been working on most recently, or leftover stuff from just the changes that are happening around you. There we go. And now breathing it into our root chakras. And I sense that we're clearing just some old pain. Trauma to me is systemic within society. It is the root of all of our problems. Our personality is built around it. Those of you who are popping in new, take a moment to write down an intention of what you want to release, and also an intention of what you want to bring in for the new year. Just take a moment. So breathing down to your grounding cord and as earth, breathing up into you, and we're going to stop at the sacral chakra. And we're also clearing some resistance. We have resistance that we're completely unaware of, and it's usually the resistance to old pain, old trauma. And breathing into your solar plexus. Ooh, that was a nice release. It was like a anger, frustration, resentment, just PO'd about the stuff that's happening around us. There we go. Now breathing into your heart center. And we're just again recalibrating to a centered flow of grounded divinity. Nice patch of fear. Let go of there. Breathing into your throat chakra. More fear being released there. And I say release, but it's actually kind of alchemized, like dust blowing away in the wind. And that's why I say it's usually debris that has been stirred up from all the work that you're doing. Breathing up into your brow chakra. A little bit more of that fear. And the Solstice Angels that have joined you are really helping in the potency and escalating and amplifying some of the movements that are happening. And into your crown, opening up your crown to the extent that you're ready to receive. I find a lot of people with trauma have a crown chakra that tends to be not fully open, because the crown chakra is almost like a defense mechanism to not allow light in, as a protection measure, because as you bring in light, it highlights what isn't light. And that can be frightening, especially if you have shadow work to do or blind spots or just a lot of heaviness, which tends to um, be affiliated with our lower chakras. So just opening up the crown chakra to the extent that it's ready. Beautiful. Now cascading all around you. Doesn't that feel good? To transform how all your chakras are worked together in support of this grounded flow. And you can call it more of a flow of presence, but you're grounded in the here and now. So you're grounded in present moment awareness, but also grounded in the presence, your divinity that's embedded in it. It's a beautiful place to be, especially as the earth changes, as you change, recalibrating not only your chakras, but your energetic bodies, bringing them into alignment, recalibrating your left and right side, the yin yang, your central channel, your nervous system. Reinforcing any weak, divine, or vital web lines. There we go. Someone needed that. Wonderful. Now, can you notice that there's just more stability, more presence? So now we're going to go back to your homework. So I'm going to create an energetic fire. Well, I'm not doing anything. The element of fire is just joining us. So just picture it. This beautiful fireplace in front of you, or maybe you're outdoors with earmuffs if you're in the northern region, mittens, and sitting on a log. And what I want you to do is take your intention to release, whatever it is you want to release, in your right hand, and just envision it there. And we're acknowledging the element of fire in front of us. And I just want you to just gently hand it over to fire. There we go. These beautiful hot white flames and blue flames and orange flames are thanking you for the fuel. And so now, because everything is an energy exchange, we're thanking fire right back. Just imagine your intention turning to ashes. And these ashes become fertilizer for you to grow, and for the whole world to benefit from your growth. Now, we're not going to bring in what it is that you most need yet. We're going to wait until the end. Because maybe what we need to do first is work on whatever it is that you're releasing. So taking a moment, we're going to drop into the first phase. This first phase is called regulation. Regulation is the place where Source invites you to drop down into this pool of energy, kind of like an ocean of awareness. And like an ocean, the surface is your life that can bump around like in stormy weather and toss you around like in a boat where you get rocked from to and fro. But here we're invited to drop down into the depths where it's still and quiet. And in this still, quiet void of energy, what is dysregulated, what is out of sorts, what is imbalanced stands out. Perhaps it's emotional regulation you need, or physical, or mental, or spiritual sources serving whatever is dysregulated. For a lot of you, it's going to your third chakra and any fear that is arising within you. There's a lot of fear of unknown. And when you are centered in presence, the unknown doesn't scare you. The unknown is mystery and it's welcomed. But our conditioned consciousness points to that fear. And when you get to more of a spiritual or emotional maturity, you recognize that fear is not who you are. It's just a story that is attached to a condition, an identity, a position, a judgment. And is the root cause of all our suffering. And so Source here is inviting you to drop deep into this immersion. And again, there's nothing for you to do but open up, receive, let go, and let the energy do the work. There's also some sadness in there. Sadness is built up from the last couple of years. Loss, division, loss of life, loss of health, loss of finances, loss of autonomy. So just let it bubble up. We still have the element of fire here, so consider, so the phoenix fire coming in, goddess fire, Devi fire, which is the fire of the divine mothers, Pele, elemental fire. Wants to take your loss, like that intention you threw into the fire. Just there's no need to even give it up. Just let your awareness open. Allow the sadness to pour out. All the turmoil that was stirred up, not just over the last year, over the last couple of years. This virus thingy, no matter what you think about it, has killed millions. And there's something called long COVID, and that has affected the immune system in so many. I don't know about you, but it really stirred up my latent Lyme's disease and created a lot of havoc and creates cognitive inflammation and all these different factors, the things that were latent or weaknesses in your system and the systems of so many others. And so there's just so much health crisis and worry. And that's just one element. We've got the climate change, we've got politics going on, and we've got division of all sorts. That's just affected us all. Or we numb out and we pretend it's not going on to the extent, because why? We have to. Just allow it to bubble up and allow the fire to cleanse your system. It's already working. Good job, you guys. Good job. That's what regulation is for. If you're new and just tuning in, do me a huge favor and just type your name into the chat so I can just mentally add you to the group field. You're already included, but adding you to the group field allows a solstice angel to come in and really serve your needs. Oh, you called in. You can't access the group chat. But if you're on the web, you can type your name in. There we go. Regulation, really getting into that sadness. Okay, thanks. Got your text. Yep. And your angels joined you. Wonderful. And so in this ocean of awareness, we're sitting with collective humanity. We're sitting with your dimensional history. And what does that mean? We hold conditioning that affects everything that you think you are. Your personality is an amalgam amalgam of all these different elements. Of course, it's your current life environment of how you grew up, how you were raised, but it's also the past lives we call our incarnational body that holds our karma and our ancestral history that contributes to who you think you are. We also have collective humanity around us that affects us. And then the fifth way we get conditioned is the divine blueprints. So all of that is contributing to who you think you are. And right now it's pointing at this sadness, this collective sadness. There you go. Good job. Sorrow, even. The depth of the sorrow is almost unfathomable. Because it's a loss of human life, it's the loss of autonomy, it's the loss of caring and connection. We do these gatherings to remind ourselves of our humanity, of our caring, of our love for one another, and love for the earth herself, because as a collective, we've forgotten. We get drawn into commercialism and capitalism and all these things that are really just one big giant trauma response that fit a desire to have, to be, to do. But in reality, our indigenous, our ancestors already knew the true reality, which is our interconnection with each other, with the earth, with the air, with the sun, with the water, with the animals, and we've forgotten. And so we're remembering and we do the work to awaken. But how we awaken is going through the massive amount of karma. But we're not doing it alone. Here we're doing it together, joined by the celestial angels and the power of the Divine Mother. And we have Christ consciousness and Merlin of magical transformation and Shakti energy and Shiva energy. We have at our fingertips. Why? Because this energetic, vibrational planet we call Earth has potential to remanifest through us, with us, as us. And all we have to do is show up. I say that like it's easy. Those of you who have been doing this work for a long time know it's not. But there's so much help, and that's the cool thing. And I just love to be a bridge. Whew. Okay, good. As I was talking, they're now down in your root chakra. So allow whatever. I'm going to breathe for just a second. There we go. There was a massive block of sorrow right in your root chakra. Beautiful. Feels like it was built up for the last couple of years, last 3 years. So now moving into the next phase, which is called embrace. We started with grounding and decentering to create a flow of energy. We then went into regulation. And as regulation, we wanted to pinpoint what was out of sorts, out of balance, in preparation for where to go next. In this phase, we're bringing in the energies of love, of peace, to illuminate those shadow sides I talked about earlier, those hidden spots, those blind spots, the things out of our awareness. If we're awakening, if we're re-remembering, there is so much that we're not seeing, especially the dimensional elements and aspects that we're aware of. Embrace beautiful energy enhanced by the Solstice Angels. That does two things. It points to and illuminates what's ready to be released. And for each of you, it probably has something to do with what you want to be what you wrote in your intention to be released. And as it points to it, it brings in the element of compassion, of tenderness, love, of safety, protection. Why? Those places that don't want to be seen are typically pretty dang uncomfortable. There's reasons they want to hide. There's reasons they're outside of our awareness. And through the process of transformation, we need to unearth them, bring them back into our awareness, surrounded by safety and protection, because trauma likes to compartmentalize. You know, we've all heard the fight, flight, freeze. There's also numbing out, avoidance, resistance. The trauma work we're doing in the new year is designed with these multi-phases in mind to really help move through, especially in those areas you do not see and you are not aware of, with a whole team of divinity to help you, to show you you are not alone. You're never alone. Yes, we're a group of people meeting together on this beautiful solstice night. But tonight we've got the solstice energy angels. We've got the solstice element of fire. We've got Christ consciousness, divine mothers. We've got source intelligence, all behind us, all supporting us, all within us to remind us we are them because we've forgotten. That's the depth of the solstice invitation, to go inward, to meet whatever it is that you've been afraid of, or the unknown. Meet the unknown. I'm not going to put words or emotions into it. Maybe you're not afraid. Maybe you're a deep diver like me. The deeper you go, the more we're going to unearth the uncomfortable. And here you have help. And in this phase, tenderness meets vulnerability. Nurturing meets any rawness. Love meets any insecurity. You're safe. You're loved. You're seen. You're understood. Here you just are. A beautiful being awakening. Yep, there it's going into that sadness again, into your spleen, into your third chakra. Oof. What I found over the last couple of months as the end of the year winds down is that the third chakra over the past couple of years has taken quite a hit because it's the power center. It's the part of you that is trying to control what is completely out of our control. It's out of our hands. And the process of awakening is to let go, to surrender, and that makes the third chakra really uncomfortable. So embrace going right to the third chakra, coating it with love, with support, with equanimity, which means it is pure acceptance that no matter what the third chakra thinks it's afraid of, it's understood. Beautiful. Just open up, receive, and let the energy do the work. It's going into that vulnerability, whatever is in the third chakra there. And it just doesn't want to let go or open up. Something that's afraid of being healed for whatever reason. And usually it's some deep, deep grief. And we touched upon it a little earlier. That's sorrow. It's sorrow that we've all faced in one form or another, or if we didn't face it, we've been numbed out from it because of, again, our conditioning has affected us over the years. Everyone carries trauma. If you don't think you do, you just haven't seen it yet. We live in a trauma-informed society. In fact, trauma has become normalized. If you haven't heard of the book, The Myth of Normal, Gabor Mate just released it. Get a copy. It's a must-read. He talks about how trauma has just become so normalized in our society, it's just a matter of fact. And we can see it in the apathy and the division around us. So right now, Source is pointing at the third chakra. What is afraid of letting go? Perhaps it has to do with whatever your intention was. Maybe that's the homework, is what is in your third chakra that you're afraid of letting go. And maybe you're just not aware. Maybe your mind says, of course I want to let that go, but your body is holding something in a way that you are completely unaware of. That's the shadow sides. We're going to spend an entire month, or I don't know how the next 3 months are going to work in the new year. We're focusing on trauma. All I know is we're focusing on trauma for at least 3 months. And it's pointing to childhood wounds, shadow sides, blind spots. I don't know if they're all going to be intermixed throughout the 3 months, if we're going to focus on 1 month of one thing, 1 month of another, third month of another. My job is to open up, listen, and receive, and be a bridge, be a facilitator for you to access the divine in this wonderful, beautiful way so that you too can be free. And right now it's pointing at your third chakra. And again, the question, what is it that the third chakra is afraid of letting go? There we go. It's also pointing at the spleen, something unresolved, something unhealed. Perhaps it's something that doesn't want to be healed. Now, that doesn't make sense to your mind, but it may make sense to your emotional body, or it may make sense to your energetic body. There we go. Now coming into energetics, we're just going to put in a whole bunch of structures. What are structures? They're just energetic pinpoints. They're crystals. They're, again, energetic pinpoints. Think of like a map. Your energetic system is a map, but it's a map that's unfathomably complex because it's dimensional. And so if we're working on a specific thing, like we're working on right now, what is it that you're afraid of letting go? And so Source knows it's a blind spot. And because we have a whole group of people here, I'm not getting a specific idea. It's individual to each of you. So we're going to put pinpoints in this map of you because you're dimensional, you're expansive, you're everywhere. And so these pinpoints help Source find, identify, and in a lot of cases help soften and even dissolve, start to dissolve. And so it's a third chakra, fear of letting go. And so that, to me, that indicates some form of control. There's something called GPS structures. I call them that because that's what they are. They're like little Pac-Man going, finding all the places. Again, to pinpoint, what is it that you're afraid of letting go? And this is my favorite structure. These are truth structures. So just take a moment, and they're specifically designed, since we're working with a group, but individual issues. It's going to draw up your awareness more deeply into whatever it is that you're releasing, or whatever it is that you're afraid to release. Again, this is a shadow side or a blind spot, something that's outside of your awareness. Maybe it's attached to your ancestral side. Maybe it's attached to your karmic history. Maybe it's a part of collective history. Who knows? It's dropping your awareness deeper. And for some of you, it's something that you're afraid to heal. No, it doesn't make sense because you wouldn't be here. But it's something just outside of your awareness. There you go. Now, coming into energetics, we're going to focus on your third chakra. We're going to clear it, energize it. Optimal health and wellness. So that means we want it to function. And to me, it's gotten such a hit over the last couple of years. Because if it were 100%, whatever it is you're trying to release, you'd have the energy there for the most part. Or perhaps you're stuck, or perhaps you have some lethargy, or perhaps you have some status quo or confusion. Your third chakra energy is depleted, not weak, or not strong enough in those areas to really assist whatever it is you're trying to do. I'm going to focus on the third chakra. Clear, energize, build up its energy if needed, strengthen it, harmonize it if it's become too overworked or, again, understimulated, and anything that's affecting it. When there's some of that fear, whatever it is you're afraid of letting go, there it is. Yeah, that fear has really weakened. Or at least depleted. When your chakra is healthy and clear, there's more flow. But if the third chakra is sluggish or shut down, the vibration is weak and there's an imbalance that can show up in any number of ways. And with the health challenges, it can show up as physical symptoms. Or in the case of the third chakra, an emotional or psychological, affecting your outlook. Perhaps there's some insecurity there, or stomach issues, or tightness. How are you breathing? Are you breathing shallow? Third chakra is the deeper part of your lungs, right? And of course, oh my gosh, I just got this. I'm so dense sometimes. Source is laughing at me. Third chakra is your solar plexus. Duh, sun. On the darkest night and the shortest day, we're bringing in the sun and the solar plexus, bringing in the energy of yellow. And of course, the solar plexus corresponds to the element of fire, which we've been working with all session. It's right below the sternum, covering your stomach. Third chakra can actually, a blocked third chakra can actually affect your vision. How are you seeing physically? How are you seeing intuitively? And again, working on blind spots and shadow sides. The question here is, what is it that you're not seeing? What is it that you're afraid to release? What is it may not want to heal or surrender? So recharging the third chakra, It's giving it back its power with the force of the sun. And starting from today forward, the sun is just going to get brighter and more. But we still have the rest of the winter to get through. So I have a feeling whatever it is that you're working on isn't going to be an easy fix. But that's okay. We need to bring it into your awareness. Being human, awakening to your divine, is not an easy fix. Those of you who think it is, you're fooling yourself. It's a process. But as you move through the process, your awareness gets deeper and deeper into this place that is infinite, timeless, fearless, eternal. And stops being attached to that fear and starts embracing the unknown. But again, it's a process. You don't just automatically leap into that. You work on whatever it is that prevents you from understanding that, from knowing that, from being it, from living it. Embodiment. And so today, we're energizing the third chakra. So that it can bring your awareness into something that is afraid of releasing, afraid of surrendering, something that may not even want to heal because you don't know what it is. Beautiful. So now we're just going to come into letting go, which is a release section for just a moment before we jump into the beautiful intention setting of bringing in the new. Now, what we're going to do is clear a choice point for whatever it is that each of you, well, it's going to be individual, but the overall umbrella is, what are you afraid of letting go? And your mind might not know, but your body does. So you're going to hear me breathing for a little bit. And again, just allow your awareness to open up, receive, and let the energy do the work. And a choice point is that spark, or when this signature first came into your life. And so as we clear it, it's like opening up space and freedom for whatever is attached to it to continue to start moving. So again, I'm going to bringing in Shakti for just a little bit. Yep, it's going right to the third chakra. Whatever it is we're working on, it's right in the third chakra. So I'm glad we took the time to give it strength and energy. There's part one. Now we're going to do part two. There's different kinds of choice points. So if you're unconsciously afraid of letting go, how can you work to, in fact, you may even know exactly what it is, but there's like hidden, and this isn't the right word, but hidden hooks, but I'm just using that terminology, but hidden conditioning. There's conditioned consciousness you're not aware of, probably attached to, like I said, the dimensionality of it that holds it in place. So the secret of transformation isn't just one and done. It's a constant clearing of the layers. There we go. Now we're going to clear the reality streams attached to that. Reality streams is how you're living out. And in this case, this is something that your awareness isn't quite well aware of. Like, it's a hidden fear or loss tied to something that your body just doesn't want to release, right in the third chakra. Think of it like your mind is the mother, you're the mother or father, and you're like, yes, I know I'm going to do this, but then your body is like the little kid dragging its heels. No matter how hard you pull, they're just, throwing a tantrum back there, and they're just going to throw their body on the ground and say, I ain't doing it. And that's the way conditioning works sometimes, is we can have the best of intentions to open up and receive and work on, and we use affirmations and we do tapping, we do all these wonderful sound healing and crystal bowls and drumming, but there's deeper conditioning that we're completely unaware of. And so the beauty of working with Source is they're navigating that place for us. So clearing the reality streams, which is how it's playing out in your life right now. It's playing out with unawareness. There's the subterranean, subconscious pattern of not wanting to let go of ... fill in the blank. Or maybe it's just a blanket refusal. I'm not going to let go of, because your physical body may be holding trauma, and that trauma is a big patch. Within that trauma is a big patch of resistance, which is insecurity. It says, I don't even feel safe enough to let whatever is ready to let go of in. I run into that a lot. There we go. And now we're going to clear what's called the collective unconscious timeline, which goes into the genetics and the karmic patterns. Again, you're going to hear me breathing for a little bit. That was a nice movement. I don't know if you felt just the freedom or light, like this was a heaviness within you that you weren't even aware that you were carrying, and all these twinkle stars of light, or these tingling stars of light coming in. And we have one other aspect to clear, and this is the collective conscious conditioning. This is more or less the place it's being held in more familiar territory, like your chakras, your energy bodies, your pathways, your organs, karma knots, karmic structures. Again, you hear me breathing for a little bit. I'm getting so much help from the celestials. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Beautiful. Again, so much space opening up. We're going to run some integration for just a few minutes. This isn't enough integration for you on the Multidimensional Healing YouTube channel. There's something called advanced integration. So if this was a really big movement for you, take 45 minutes and listen to that. Because you're dimensional. If you're dimensional, you're connected to everyone and everything. And if we just change something, like we just took a few of those web lines and and grid work that, and we altered it and we transformed it and we alchemized it, then we have to tell everything else you're connected to that we did that work. And so typically in our weekly sessions, we take some time, but we do so much in an hour, 90 minutes that we work, that this advanced integration just helps with any kind of symptoms that generally come with that kind of deep work. So, and I'll mention it in the replay, but we're going to take just a couple minutes here to integrate what we just did, integrating in all space, all time, all realities, all dimensions, all realms, all fields, interdimensionally, physicalizing it, catching up generally. Then as you're ready, catching up the brain, specific areas in the brain, like the amygdala or pituitary, catching up the brain consciousness, and the nervous system, before moving into the chakras and energy bodies. And organs. To me, integration feels like puzzle pieces, just sliding back in together like clockwork, going click, 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 click. And as it does so, there's a settling into this stability and into this peace that is your birthright. Integrating the organs, the pathways, integrating something called the life field, which is the field of all your life's experiences. Of course, if it's something that you're afraid to surrender, to let go of, life field is holding a bunch of that. Integrating the genetics, integrating the cellular consciousness, integrating the cellular function, integrating your consciousness body and all of consciousness itself. Now we're kind of going to get into territory you might not understand, but don't worry, your energetic body does. Integrating the assemblage points. Integrating the luminous egg. Integrating them. Intelligence fields, including the universal intelligence field. And bridging those changes back into your system. Whole entire group field feels so different from when we started. There's an element of flow, of stability, of peace, of centeredness. With something like being afraid to release, dot, dot, dot. Again, it may or may not have to do with your intention, more than likely does. Just notice. Because we're working at such deep levels, it may not be obvious. It may not be something that's very immediate, but just notice down the line how there's more ease and grace with letting go. Because perhaps this pattern was a certain stubbornness that you didn't even know existed on a body level. How amazing is that, right? We've all felt that up against this stuck wall, like, oh, what's going on? And, where you have such a desire. But maybe that is the desire to change, is the resistance itself. Because the acceptance looks at all of life and says, it is what it is. Isn't that a paradox? So now bringing in Devi therapy. What is Devi therapy? It is an energetic, dimensional therapist, bringing in clarity, relevance, understanding, insight. Again, notice it may be something that comes in immediately, or it may be something that pops up over the next couple of days, couple of weeks. Or it just may be wisdom that arises. And it's working all the way to the level of genetics. So coming into reorientation, this phase helps realign you with the opposite of letting go, surrender. And so we're going to take a moment here and we're going to introduce this crystal fountain, this crystal well, wishing well. And I want you to take out those intentions, your homework of what it is that you envision for a new world, for yourself, for the upcoming year. Just give it to the waters. Give it to this well. Just drop it in. If you're a physical person, put it in your right hand. And just envision dropping in this well. This well is filled with crystalline waters of potential, possibility. It's manifestation, pure manifesting. And of course, we're going to let go of what it is that, and how it is, and when it is achieved. But on this solstice night, it is magic. Beautiful. Just gonna give you another minute to sit with this crystal well. It's a wishing well. You can see it as a fountain because it is this flow of crystalline energy, the stream of higher consciousness. I don't like the term higher because there is no hierarchy, but in comparison to the density of the fear of what we just released, yes, it's lighter. And so what we're going to do is the well works on your intentions for the rest of the time together. So we're going to bring in the you that is already cleared, whatever that pattern is of a fear, of afraid, whatever doesn't want to heal, whatever doesn't want to surrender, let go. And you've transformed every single issue related to it because we're networked. It isn't just one thing. There's a lot of different things affiliated with it. And so the you that is you exists. And we're going to bring that in as a blueprint, as an overlay. And of course, what's coming forward is the aspect of you that is free, confident, embodied with presence. It's an embodied mastery that, I know I'm going to come up with a better word, but fearless. Yeah, there's a better word for that. Presence. It's an embodied presence that is all the things that I just said. Fearless, confident, filled with joy and potential, possibility, where whatever that fear of letting go, whatever had that loss and anger, held back and blocked you from it. So here on this solstice night, opening up. Oh no, potential. Thank you. It's not presence. I knew that if I sat with it long enough, it's embodied potential. That wishing well that you dropped your intentions in, that is you. You just don't know it yet. And what prevents you from knowing it is what we just worked on earlier. Fear. Fear of the unknown. Fear of your beauty, of your glory, of your infiniteness. And it's conditioned. You know, we can affirm and say that we're this, but our conditioning in our body that we're unaware of counters it, negates it, nullifies it. So it's a process of digging deep, unearthing it, embracing it, facing it, working it through, and then there's more potential. There's more potential. It's a gradual process. It's not something that happens overnight. But here in Winter Solstice night, we have so much help. And here is your wishing well. You are it. It is you. This is embodied potential. So we're going to bring in new upper dimensional blueprints for this embodied potential. And then we're going to spend the rest of the time we have together soaking in this energy and sending it out to the earth and having the earth reflect it back to us. Because we are beacons of this potential. We're just deepening our awareness of it. So coming into what I call the truth tower, and it's just a portal, a beam of light between worlds, a dimensional portal of potential and manifestation. Your feet are in the center of the earth, your crown in the center of the galaxy, and your spine merged with all your timelines. And what we're going to do is bring in this alchemy. These alchemical codes are like crystals infusing not just your cells, but into your physicality, into your atoms, into your space and atoms, into your quarks, into everywhere you are. This pattern of embodied potential. And as you go digging through the darkness in your path of process of awakening, of re-remembering, of aligning with truth. And these seeds will be there waiting for you just to burst open, to be fed with sunlight of your continuing work and the nutrients of what you're letting go. What you're letting go is pure fertilizer. The goddess Kali is here. There's a drain in our interface between worlds where the goddess Kali and the goddess Durga take what no longer serves us and creates fertilizer from it, either to feed our own transformation or to use it wherever it's needed. Nothing is wasted. So here in this truth tower, we're standing in a pillar, embodied potential. And let's soak it into our bodies from our feet to the knees, to the hips, crystalline snowflakes or a mist infusing into every part and particle, into our midsection, throughout all our chakras, up our spine, into our hearts, into our shoulders, into our entire head, opening up our third eye, into our crown, and cascading all around us into this toroidal field of our own energy field that immediately interfaces with the Earth's toroidal field, because there is no separation in this sacred space. There's morphogenetic fields of harmonic resonance intersecting with each other, and they're all vibrating with these alchemical codes. Embodied potential. Imagine the whole world getting infused with it. But first, we're going to send it to the planet, up into the sky, deep into the earth, bubbling up into the rivers, lakes, and streams, deep into the soil, into the microbes, to all the oceans, to the marine life, into the birds and mountains and forests, into every plant and animal and insect and bird, into the snow, and all human life. Embodied potential. Envision that. Whatever your vision for 2023 is fed by potential. What a gift from the Solstice Angels. This wishing well, this crystalline energy that reflects back to you your potential as potential. There's no separation. We think we have to drop something in over there, when what we're really doing is dropping in within. In the element of surrender, whatever it is we were trying to release, or even this generalized fear that if I surrender, I may disappear, I may die. What is dying is your ego. What is dying is your identity. What is dying is the piece of your personality that says that's not possible. Let it die, let it go. But there's a fear that says, oh, I can't or I won't. Here, potential says, you are. There is no separation. What a beautiful gift. So let's bathe in it. So we send it out to the world sends it right back to us. Om Shanti Shanti Om. And of course, the Solstice Angels giving us a gift. Whew. I'm sorry, just every time something really pure comes forward, it brings tears to my eyes. This gift are an extra set of embodied potential into the places where your deepest fears are. So when you go mining later, and if you're on this path, this will be the rest of your life. You're just constantly, these things are just going to bubble up. If you think it's not, again, you're misinformed. That is the process. We're always digging deeper. And what Source is doing, what our solstice angels are doing, is they're dropping this embodied potential, these crystals, like little lamps. So when you get there, there's going to be a light leading the way. What a gift. Just for showing up here tonight. Thank you, thank you, thank you. They're like seeds of potential, ready to sprout. Little sparks ready to burst into a flame. Wow. These nights, these auspicious nights, and the veils between worlds are the thinnest when we show up together in force, when we gather with intention. Divine aspects of us show up too. I say the divine aspects to us because we are that, but we're coming into that realization slowly but surely as we continue to show up and do the work. And it is work, but eventually it stops being work and it starts being curiosity and presence and embracing the unknown. That's embodied potential in action. As we come to a conclusion, this beautiful solstice night, thanking you for feeding the fire with your intentions to release. Thank you too, taking the time to allow Source to work with you, to get into a pattern that is afraid of releasing. And thank you to the magic of the restoration, of the reorientation to realign you with your potential. Thank you. Singing a Sanskrit mantra, which is a prayer to be shown the truth, to be led from darkness to light, and from death to immortality. It's what the winter solstice is all about, is this revealing. May we be conduits of peace and happiness on earth. Asatoma Sakamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Tram Gamaya Om Shanti 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 Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Om Shanti 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 Om Shri Guryo Namaha Hari Om. Peace, peace, peace. On the shortest day and darkest night, may there be continuing blossoming of peace. And thanking our solstice guides, thanking our divine beings who are joining us in this interface between worlds. Thanking you for showing up here tonight. Thanking you for allowing me to be a conduit. Taking a deep breath. Coming up at this space of interface of grace. It is done. It is complete. And so it is. So it is. So it is. You may wish to stay in this flowing space of deepening potential, which is also embodying. Take 5-10 minutes. Don't worry about becoming linear right now. Follow your own inner guidance. Until next time, Be blessed.